My name is Ashraf Kakaire Sharaf. I work with the Open Space Center. I do communications and partnerships for Open Space. Particularly for the SGD in Reality project, I'm coordinating this project this year. Picking up from where we stopped last year when we were doing a Multiply SGD campaign. The program was about ensuring that we do popularization of sustainable development goals in schools. We were targeting students. So this year, having launched the youth panel on SGD last year, with support from Crossing Borders of Denmark and SISU, we started to launch yet another project that we've been running this year, and it is called SGDs in Reality. For SGDs in Reality, we wanted to unpack the sustainable development goals in languages that people understand and communities. So what we've been doing, we started a mentorship program at the start of the year where we got members of the youth panel and also did a call of mentors. We assigned them to particular schools where they've been mentoring students into sustainable development goals. After we organized the SGD debates that happened in schools, where schools met and competed and were debating issues of sustainable development goals.
Well, my name is Adirichalin Pauline. I'm from Chiswimapera. I've been part of Team Beach Swimapera and I've been the third speaker in that team. Well, actually, we would love to send our sincere appreciation to the Open Space group. We thank you so much for coming to us. When we look at the Sustainable Development Goals, they're actually goals that are going to help our society. We're actually very happy. We're actually very proud. We work in society knowing, yes, we were able to be consulted. You people have come to us. You're asking us about the solutions, about the problems we are facing, and what shall we do about it? Are we going to depend so much on economy and leave out environment? We know how to balance the two. So we actually thank you so much for bringing these debates. We thank you so much for helping us. We thank you so much that you're giving us a chance to learn from each other, because as we are debating, it is not all about the winning team or the losing team. It is all about what you learned from the debate. What can you do after the debate, and which one of the policies will you be able to implement? You're able to get our ideas about different things. By the time we shall grow up, we are very sure that ignorance would have decreased amongst the people, because we, the youth, are the first people in implementing any policy in this world. So we thank you so much for involving us, for making us part of the sensitization, for showing us the value we have in life, for showing us that we are worthy, we are part of the program. Thank you so much.
Now, Sustainable Development Goals. Well, we came from the Millennium Development Goals and now to Sustainable Development Goals. I believe that as the young people out there, we do have a role to play. Our future environment deserves to be protected. Likewise does the economy, but I think we need to really prioritize the environment, because provided we have a good environment, we can really thrive our economy as well. And above all, I believe that it's also the debate issues that we are having here, the questions and answers that we're trying to give, the solutions that we're trying to give, that we're going to be in position to achieve the SDGs, and not only achieve it in Uganda, but achieve it elsewhere, because we are sick and tired of having our environment being destroyed. We are sick and tired of the sunshine increasing each and every now and then. We are sick and tired of rainfall. We are sick and tired of too much rainfall, I beg your pardon. We are sick and tired of us having floods. We are sick and tired of the Saharan desert expanding more and more. Most above all, we are sick and tired of the ozone layer being perpetually destroyed. So I believe that we need to address such issues and such environmental concerns through debate, which is quite engaging, because it's through that we get different ideas, different solutions, and quite a number more.
Nalbega Mariam Mwanga from Chinawa High School, obviously Senior 1A. I've come here for a debate, and we have been very many schools, but we have not won, but I've gained more skills. Like I've learned very many skills from the schools I've been competing with. I've learned how to express myself. I've learned more of the Calcopa system. Actually, it's more than winning here. It's more of, okay, it's not more of winning here. It's more of learning. We came here with little skills, but according to the skills I've been versing to, we have achieved more. And I think this program that's being arranged, I think it's more beneficial than just the schools coming up to win the trophy. Actually, these debates have been so based on environment. And we as the young people, the youth, we have gained a lot. We have learned how to preserve our environment. We have learned how to prepare it for the future. We have learned the harmful products and how to prevent them, how to regulate them. So we have learned a lot. Actually, things about environment, I think we as the youth and as the young ones have been involved into the debate, I think we now very much know of how to conserve our environment.
Nasima Grace is my name. I'm the patron debating club, Chisumi Mapera Secondary School. I've been debating with other schools for a number of years, and we have been discussing issues concerning our environment, our social well-being, and in most cases these debates brought up by open space, especially with these goals. For example, goal 13, they are helping the youth simply because they are being sensitized how to protect our environment, and when they protect the environment, the other problems of poverty, disease will be controlled.
What we learn from this throughout these debates with the resolutions, the possible resolutions concerning the environment and the climate, they are just helping us to have the precautions that we may take in the future to avoid the future break that may happen, like disasters coming up. They're helping us to learn many challenges that may affect us as human, to affect life in the future. So we learn to get the precautions on preventing this for a future sustainable development growth without the expense of the environment. Thank you.
After the SGD debates, we did community outreaches and mentorship, where we got different communities and people in the informal sector, and we took SGDs to them in language that they understand. You know that the government of Uganda, through the office of the Prime Minister, has already translated SGDs in 9 languages. So we are reaching out to communities and people and discussing with them the sustainable development goals in language that they understand very well. We've been going to people from the informal sector and discuss the sustainable development goals in their own setting, in their own understanding. That's why the program is called SGDs in Reality.
My name is Ram Abubakar Muhammad Haji, and today we've had our first community engagement program in partnership with Uganda Footballers Association and Uganda Football Coaches Association, because most times we work in a community of footballers who are very neglected in terms of knowledge when it comes to like for example the project or the program we've been on today about the sustainable development goals. So creating awareness among the footballers on SDGs was the center of the conversation today, and most especially we're talking about SDG number 8, which is centers around decent work. One of the biggest challenges sportsmen in Uganda face, and it's become very critical for us to address it through projects like this.
After the community outreaches, we also did what we call SGDs Action Days. This time round, these were student-driven action days, where different students in specific schools chose to work on specific goals. For example, Chinawa High School and Bogo Progressive worked on climate action or climate change, where they did plant a lot of trees in their schools, and these trees were planted by students, and also students pledged to be taking care of the trees. For example, schools have been planted in classes. So senior 1A plants a mango tree, so it's their work to water the mango every year, to make sure that it is in good condition. So other schools did action days in different particular goals. For example, others did in education, where we had the setup of mobile libraries in institutions or schools where they did not have even a single library. As an entity, we've been supporting them in buying these materials, say the books that were placed in libraries. The action days in schools saw students coming up with different initiatives where they took action on specific goals. The agenda was ensuring that we move from just talking about sustainable development goals to taking action. That's why you saw students planting trees in schools, working on specific goals like of climate action. You saw students working on goals of clean water and hygiene, and you saw students collecting money with support from open space and bought some of the watering cans to ensure that they have clean water. Students of Mbogo Progressive also contributed to ensure that they constructed a borehole with support from open space to ensure that it also be in position to have clean water and hygiene.
My name is Namgade from Amit Secondary School. Today, we as Amit, we are doing a project about sustainable development goal number 3, which is good health and well-being, combining it with sustainable development goal number 2, which is zero hunger. We are going to visit the hospital, which is Passion Clinic Hospital here at Ganda, and clean the hospital, because we believe that good health and well-being is both through good sanitation and clean sanitation everywhere that we live. So we are going to clean the hospital, which is going to enable to boost sanitation in that hospital. And after, we are going to offer some things that we have, for example, the fruits that we got through, and donate them to those kids that are in that hospital who are malnourished.
We have sisters, aunts, mothers, and everyone. From this service, we have learned how to have empathy, putting myself into the legs of another one. So, me as a boy, from the service that I've learned not to just love for the girls, but help them. From today onward, I'm going to be helping a girl child who is in her menstruation period.
My name is Semfuka Abubakar Kasule. When I grew up, my father gave me another name of Musajja Jagenda. I direct Africana High School, which is an education facility dealing in secondary education. I take the honor to appreciate Open Space. They have quite done us well in trying to improve the culture of reading and establishment of a functional library at this facility. I believe it is well in line with the Sustainable Development Goal number 4, which calls for quality education. We believe that with the learners getting enough from the teachers and supplementing what they have gained, what they have got from teachers through personal private reading, will improve the quality of education. Big up Open Space, and we promise to continuously cooperate and work with you in future. I thank the partners and I wish you all well. Thank you for considering Africana High School, and we promise that we are going to put to use the donated books.
As St. James, we would like to thank Open Space for donating some of the books that we needed so that we can start this and implement it. I know these books are going to help these learners to ensure that this quality education as a goal we chose has been implemented.
Open Space has provided us with trees, and as Chinawa, our goal is to promote rule number 13, which is climate action. I want to thank Open Space for giving us an opportunity to plant enough trees and also conserve our environment.
Again, in a bid of ensuring that young people are part of the broader discourse of sustainable development goals, we ensured that on the UN Day that was celebrated at Kolo Airstrip, Open Space and other young people, on the UN Day, we exhibited and showcased our work on sustainable development goals. We also decided to develop some board games, because these young people in the informal sector, for example, as they're playing their cards, as they're playing their Ludo, we developed SGD board games, where if someone is playing Ludo, is playing an SGD Ludo. As they're playing and beats a Kenny or 1 or 2 or scores a goal, they can easily discuss the SGDs and resonate with them, because they are in language that they understand. So we did the UN SGD exhibitions that happened at Kolo Airstrip, where we supported schools and students to come and showcase their work in sustainable development goals. At the start of this program, like I was sharing, because we had already launched the youth pan on SGD, together with Open Space Center, we started developing a mentorship curriculum that has been used in different schools, where we assign mentors to different students to always mentor them into sustainable development goals throughout the academic year. Why we chose students particularly, it's because when you look at these students in senior 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, they're within the age bracket of 19, 20, 23. In the spell of 13 years to come, that is 2030, they will either be in these areas of influence. If they are not part of the real implementing on sustainable development goals, they will be the ones doing monitoring and evaluation of the SGDs. So that's why we believe that students are very important stakeholders as far as the sustainable development goals are concerned. We are very optimistic that the students that we've mentored in schools will ensure that even when the project ends, they continue the discourse of sustainable development goals, because they are formulated clubs in schools. And even the teachers, because like I told you at the start of this program, we mentored teachers into SGDs. So teachers and students that we mentored will keep the candle burning as far as sustainable development goals are concerned. For our future plans, of course, in our first program of Multiply SGDs, we are looking at only students, and for the SGDs in reality, we looked at both students and we did mentorship in communities. Future plans, we are looking at the private sector. What is the private sector in ensuring that sustainable development goals are concerned? Because oftentimes we do not always interface with people from the private sector, and we think that they are very important people that can help us achieve our motto, which is leaving no one behind. So in the future plans, we are looking at also involving the private sector. So we believe if you have students, teachers, community leaders, and people from the informal sector, we also need people from the private sector to be in position not to leave, to be in position to keep the promise of not leaving no one behind. And I cannot fail to appreciate Crossing Borders from Denmark with support from CISU for entrusting open space for the past 2 years to run a different project on sustainable development goals. And we also pray that they continue to support our initiatives, because we believe the future is bright. Like the promise goes, let's leave no one behind. Thank you.